Okay. Howdy and aloha. Welcome to Manata. The earth and you are ohana. We hope you stay and talk. Howdy and aloha, everyone. This is James with Monotalk. It is November the 17th, 2024. 5:57 Central Standard Time. Anyway, thank you for being here. Like, subscribe, and all that wonderful stuff. Here's kind of what's playing out everywhere. People are still a little confused. They're not sure if it's going to get better. There's still reservation, right? They're reserved a little bit. And I understand why. YouTube still got its community guidelines. And, my Facebook account that I've had forever just got suspended again for the, 20th fucking time. Because there's still a lot of trolls and, people just reporting you just for you having a different opinion or you wanting to debate, as I've asked dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds now within the past almost 4 years of those that think that Trump is a criminal and all this other stuff and evil and bad and fascist and Nazi, whatever they want to say, to come on my show and bring their documents, their data, their videos, whatever they want, prove me wrong. And usually they'll send me a clip from MSNBC or they'll send me something from The Atlantic or they'll give me something from Politico, or Associated Press or NPR, PBS, Democracy Now, just all these places that, honestly, if you've done as much research as I have, you'll definitely come to the conclusion that those legacy media, legacy paperback or magazine or newspaper outlets, whatever, media sources, are all on the payroll of the global predator class, or I call them the the global pedo predator class. And it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious now. I mean, I've got a lot of information to back up everything I've said. I've got it all in the computer. I got it in clouds. I've got it in emails. I've sent it to people just to make sure that it's with them and I still have it somewhere. All this information that I've gathered for a long time, and I really started doing deeper dives, going past the rabbit hole or into the abyss, which is hard. A lot of people won't go. They don't want to know the truth. They don't want to know the facts. They don't want to know the unequivocal truth or complete and total fact of something based on, hard evidence of what's going on. They want to formulate an opinion in their mind or a theory or conclusion that paints a pretty picture. Because it gets pretty dark. The deeper you go past that rabbit hole into the abyss, the deeper you go, the darker it gets, I'm telling you. And you start to realize just how insidious and mischievous, evil. I mean, just evil, like I said, evil is a matter of perspective. One religion thinks another religion is evil, and one group of people thinks another group is evil, and vice versa. But there are a lot of things out there that are just extremely heinous. They're extremely bad, just bad. And Donald Trump isn't bad. Actually, he's a pretty decent guy. If you disagree with that, then like I said, come on and you bring me your stuff and I'll show you my stuff. Facts and documents and stuff like that. And I will, we'll debate, but that won't happen. Because they're afraid. They're afraid to know. They don't have, it's like you have to have like this strength, it's mana, I call it. My huna, mana. I'm not I wouldn't say I'm a kahuna, but I'm damn close. Because a lot of things that I brought out ever since early 2020, or actually late 2019, after I got my flu vaccination in November, I started hearing this thing about the coronavirus and all this other stuff, and Chuck Schumer was talking about it, and all these guys, and I go, fuck, here it comes. And then I realized, and then they had Agenda 201, planning for this big thing, and then sure enough, it kind of happened exactly the way they had planned it, or they prepared for it, let's say. And then Trump was like, what is this stuff? Fucking baloney. The Democrats now have this new hoax. No, the flu-19, all this other stuff. And then he changed his mind because, like I said, Fauci is the greatest pharmaceutical sales rep on the planet. He's been doing it for decades. And he's had many presidents and world leaders in the palm of his hands. He's done some serious damage to a lot of people. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. knows that. He wrote a book about him, which I should read at some point, but I don't need to. I think I've studied enough on the guy. But that's when I started thinking, there were some tell signs, there were some red flags, there were, just flag going up, like, what is this happening? What's going on now? Wait a second. And I did a ton of research, right? But before that, even before that, 2019, when I started seeing the suspicious thing happening of this fear, go get your thing in your arm now, and everybody fucking did it. At least 68 or close to 70% of the U.S. population fucking just, and they just start slamming themselves. It was, fuck. I was just, wait a second. And I tried to get a lot of people and warn a lot of people, but YouTube kept taking my channel down. I'm on my 6th YouTube channel. I was, when Twitter was Twitter and not with Elon Musk, I was suspended a lot. I was Facebook tons of times, and every other fucking social media except for I jumped on Gab, went to True Social. They were fine, of course. They had a totally different point of view, which was, let's speak freely. Let's use our First Amendment. It's not just constitutional, which people don't get. They don't get. Freedom of speech means I can speak. Do you think back in, 200, 300,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, whatever, 20,000 years ago, that there was something that said on a plaque written and carved in stone or something like that said, community guidelines say that you can't say these things. You can't bring up this terminology. You can't say certain words. The word algorithm didn't even really exist because people spoke freely. Back before the printing press, what's that something burger? I'm trying to remember who created it. But before they could start censoring that, I just real quick, go check out the Corbett report. And he does a really great kind of an expose or something on how the printing press came out and how it was used for propaganda. And once the written word came out, they used it against a lot of people. They that's when the oligarchs, that's when the royalty, that's when they said, wait a second, we can reach more people to get them to think a certain way, because if it's printed, it's supposed to mean something. And they take it as biblical fact or as concrete, written in stone fact, as in, if it's printed back in the day, 200, whatever, 1700s or 1800s, way before that. Anyway, they said people really believe that that's what it was. If you were, okay, let me back up a little further. When you spoke, everybody basically spoke the truth. Nobody really understood what lying was. Nobody really understood. It's just people spoke freely and told the truth, right? Like a kid. Where did you go today? Well, I went down to the river, and my sister decided to throw a rock at me, and that's what happened. And then, the daughter, like the mom and dad are questioning, why did he get a lump on his head? Well, I threw the rock, but I was throwing it at a fish, and I threw it bad, and it hit him in the back of the head. Truth, things that happened, and nobody really lied. I'm sure there was pontificating and lying and kind of white lies here and there and whatever. But a long, 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 long time ago, when we were primitive hunter-gatherers, we just spoke freely to each other. And that's my point. We spoke freely to each other. We spoke as in our word was our bond. You probably haven't heard that. If you're younger than me by 20 or 30 years, you may not understand or realize how valuable that was, how people actually took the word of another person and they said, my word is my bond. I give you my word that I will be there, or that I will sign that, or I will fix that, or I will make some bread, or so, whatever, you know what I mean? It's when people started to learn that they could use the media that was out there for a while, and then they understood, well, hell, some people use the media for comics, they used it for sports, they used it for all kinds of things, but way back in the day, you might get something about the king, or you might get something about some governmental person or whatever, and a couple of words here twisted in a certain way could make it seem like this person is bad or evil or wrong or good or fantastic or wonderful. There were books created a long time ago that you should read. The coolest book I just read recently was, besides the monk that sold his Ferrari, which is a good book, I recommend it to a bunch of people, it's kind of fictional, is Frankenstein. Because everybody thinks Frankenstein is this monster created by this scientist, and that comes back and destroys people and the scientist, and that's it, right? There's so much more to it. The actual narrator of Frankenstein comes from basically one person, but another person kind of folds into a few people, but it's from a captain of a ship, right? Or wait, a daughter of a captain in a ship, a sister of a captain of a ship. Yeah. And it just goes, and my point here is everybody thinks they know what's going on until you really get into the book, until you get into the information, until you do your research, until you do your investigation, right? My mom's still a licensed private investigator that serves subpoenas all over Southern California, that's over 80 years old. But she taught me how to learn, how to investigate, how to find, how to dig. And maybe that's why I'm where I'm at, right? I do a little singing here and there, and I'm learning how to play the piano, which I suck at still. As we move forward, and as we start to evolve, the words are becoming jumbled. Here's a good example. I have a 1997, I believe. Is it 1997? I think it's in the 90s. I have a 1990s, Webster's Dictionary. Okay? Webster's Dictionary. New World Dictionary. Ooh, that sounds kind of weird. And a lot of the definitions have changed just within the past few years. COVID changed a lot of things. Excuse me, Fluvid-19. Changed a lot of things. They changed what a thing in your arm is, what all these other terms, what a person is, these genders. I mean, this is fucking nuts. It's so the word has become poisoned. That's pretty much it. And a lot of people just think that what you're seeing and what you're getting is what you're seeing and what you're getting, but that's not the case. Because if you're watching and you're following all this stuff, right, all this stuff here, right, YouTube. I mean, not just YouTube, but I'm talking, like if you go to MSNBC or you go to Fox or you go to wherever, doesn't matter, and you start to realize, and you start to find out that a lot of information in here that's being put out is mass formation psychosis driven. In other words, it's J. Edward Griffith just said it. What's his name? Also said it. Anyway, let me drink some water. Noam Chomsky. When you, oh God, what is that called? But let's just listen real quick on G. Edward Griffin, because I really like you to hear this, because he brings up the term that I'm talking about. Where the hell is it? I just had it up here. Oh, here it is, right here. He was on with Anomaly, which I think Anomaly has always done a pretty decent job. He did vote for Trump, by the way. Yeah, you'd be completely if you didn't vote for Trump and you voted third party or Democrat or anything else, then I just want to tell you that you're probably extremely just blasted with pushing you away, which that's part of the psyop, to push you away and to suck you into whatever narrative that the global pedo-predator class wants you to believe in. You're already in it. Climate change is real. Fluvid-19 is going to come back around again. That was real and all this other shit. And then you're in. But let me play this guy real quick. Oh, there it is. G. Edward Griffin, everybody. Great talking panel, Red Pill Expo 2024. That's like 4 or 5 months ago. 2 months ago. Well, that wasn't that long ago. Here we go.
Well, thank you. Thanks for coming back. I think this is the most, I won't say the most important part, but it's as important as any other part all put together. Because we're going to talk about how to solve this problem. Now, I get a lot of emails all the time, and packages arrive in the mail almost every week where somebody has sent me their manuscript or a book they just published, and they say, Mr. G, I've got the solution. Here's what we have to do. I've got it all worked out. I've spent the last 7 years working on this thing, and you got to read it and let everybody know that I've solved the problem. I'm literally paraphrasing, but it's almost word for word what I get. Some poor guy like me, as a young writer, figured he had it all figured out. And so I open up the manuscript eagerly looking for the solution. And of course, what it usually is, well, we ought to do this, we ought to do that, we got to get rid of the income tax, we got to get out of the wars, we have to restore our honor as a nation, we've got to have higher moral values, we got to remember all of the things we got to do, and never once do they talk about how in the heck are we going to do that. And this is the mentality of our movement to a large extent. As you probably have noticed, you walk around or drive around the country, all these patriotic rallies are going on, and the speakers are out there, we ought to do this and we ought to do that. We got to get new people elected. We got to get rid of the present establishment. We got to quit financing all the tyrants around the world. We got to educate people. And no idea of how to do that. So it's a waste of time. So I want to talk to you today, very briefly, and this time I mean it, of what we can do, of what we...
You know, he said it's a waste of time, and I think he fucked up when he said that. He goes, damn it. That's what he said. He said, fuck. I just said it. And he probably knew he shouldn't have said that. That's what I'm saying, is... Because all the things that you're doing something. And that's what he needs to realize, which I'm sure he knows now that he shouldn't have said that. Is if you're out doing something for something that you believe is true, real, important, vital, something that's going to help you, your immediate family, your friends, your neighbors, your community, your city, your county, your state, your country, your planet, and everybody on it, then you're probably doing the right thing. I know, even if you're on whatever side you're on, you can sleep at night. But what this guy does, and what he's uncovered throughout his long career of being a truth to power, red pill kind of guy, G. Edward Griffin, is he's been beaten up. I mean, he has tried so hard to get his message out there where people will take, we get it, we need to change this, we need to do that, we need to do, and then afterward it's shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's always shoulda, woulda, coulda. You know, maybe I should have done this, maybe I should have done that, maybe I should have checked and been more something to somebody, maybe I should have done a little more of this or a little that, or who knows, right? But the thing is there are solutions, you know. And as I put in here, and I'll show you when I bring it up here. I wrote this, and this is hard. Wait, where did it go again? Darn it. Let me just bring that up. Okay, there we go. It keeps blinking off. I wrote this because a lot of people, it's very hard. As I'm saying, it's not easy being in this place. Like when I go to work, I talk to people all the time. There's a lot of people that just have no clue on what's going on. They really, I mean, they say they know, they think they know, but they don't. They don't. I'm not saying I know everything, but I've been there. I was in the Democratic Party. I was in the Green Party. I've been a Republican before, and then a Democrat, and then a Green Party, and not just the political aspects of it, just not the party aspect of it. I've been to big parties in Bel Air, next to Beverly Hills, and in Beverly Hills. I've been to Newport Coast parties. Look that fucking place up. Dean Koontz lives there, and a bunch of other people. I've been to parties in Coto de Casa where freaking a lot of athletes and rich people. I've been to some pretty fucking crazy parties. And I'm going to tell you right now, the elite, when they walk in and they're visiting, because they're not at these places, I'm telling you, but they might stop by. But a lot of these parties and a lot of these people that have billions or hundreds of millions, they don't think like you guys do. They don't think like us. They've had it all. They've gotten everything they want. And they've been spoiled by their riches to the point to where they're numb to pretty much everything. And they have to have more. They have to have something else that could get them excited or whatever. But they're very out of touch, and you can get to that place. I've seen people get extremely successful and they kind of lose their place a little bit. It just depends on how high you go and who you associate with, and if you still stay in, as long as you don't separate yourself from society, which a lot of these people do totally. There are people that, and people always say that Elon Musk, I'm going to get to read this. Elon Musk is rich. He's not in society. This guy fucking goes into, the other day, a coffee shop, right, out of nowhere, gets coffee and some apple pie, and this lady helps her. This African American black lady helped him out. This is a real story. I'll show you later. And he was just enjoying the coffee and some apple pie, and some liberal old fart came up. That's Clinton or whatever, Obama supporter, just started hammering him. And the waitress came up and said, could you, in a way, just please stop? The guy's just trying to eat his food, And people didn't like that. She almost lost her job for talking to this guy, but she was right. She defended another customer. She goes, I would have done it for you if somebody came up to you and started giving you shit. It's just, this isn't the place. We're just here to eat, get some apple pie, have a coffee, and talk about stuff. We're not here to make people feel uncomfortable or bad. This isn't that place, which she was totally right. But what was interesting is Elon came back the next day or later or something like that. And he said, thank you for sticking up for me. That was cool. She goes, I would have done it for him or anybody else. I mean, it's just want people to enjoy their time here and have some coffee and some cake or pie. And she goes, well, we could use people like you. Boom. Gave her a huge job position. But the moral of the story is it didn't matter who they were. For example, my neighbor, she's wonderful. Charlene, she's beautiful. Excuse me. She's a beautiful person. I know she's a great person. She voted for the other side. Doesn't make her evil, mean, or nasty. It just makes her kind of, maybe she just doesn't get it all. And she needs to be informed. And maybe she's thinking me the same thing. I don't know. But I'm telling you, I've already been there. Right? And they've always promised everything and delivered nothing. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that. And I love my neighbors. I love people in this community. It's a great, great little city. And I'm very honored. I'm very honored. I'm very thankful. And I just can't believe I kind of landed in a, thanks to my daughter and my grandkids, because I see them whenever I can. I'm blessed beyond belief to be able to be here. To be honest with you, if you're in California, hopefully it'll get better. I was going to say if Kamala got elected for some fucking demonic reason, and then you would have probably wanted to leave. But now I think there's little hope for California. There's little hope for the country. But in regards to what G. Edward Griffin is going to be talking about, and in regards to what he's trying to convey to people, is it's difficult to put yourself, to put that step forward. I'm telling you, I know, but there was a time when I was so passionate about something that I traveled I'd so passionate, I just wanted to be there. And I wanted to be there so bad. I traveled 1,347 miles, just gave up my life in sunny Southern California and went to another state. What I'm going to read here, I think, is very important for people to understand. The problem is our own individual strength. Not everyone has the ability to dive into the abyss. It's very deep. It gets darker and deeper. It gets darker the deeper you dive. And if you can't hold your breath long enough, you may not make it back up. If you can make it down past those little rabbit holes into the abyss of just how sinister, insidious, and fiendish the global pedo-predator class, aka World Economic Forum, ETL, are, then you will use everything in your power to stop them. And then I said I'm on my 6 GP channel. I gotta edit this real quick because I think it's the spell thing. It gets darker the deeper you die. Okay, there you go. Anyway. So that's what I'm saying. But listen to the rest of me, because I think it's the action. It's the willingness to just say at one point, I'm going to fucking do this. I'm going to go and do something that's going to make a difference and help everybody. And I think everybody wants to do that. I think everybody has that. But the problem is, and he kind of points it out, the problem is a lot of people don't know where to go. They're, like I'm saying at the very beginning, people are a little confused. What to do, where to go, how to do it. You know, and this happens. And this is kind of why we have a government. This is kind of why we have in our lives, in our ancestry, we've had chiefs and we'd have kings, and we'd have, village leaders. Usually were the elders. They weren't senile. They didn't eat fucking seed oil their entire lives, right? They ate fresh fish and buffalo and meat or whatever, bison, and they ate the freshest fruit and vegetables and wheats and grains and all kinds of things that just kept them sane. The elders were extremely intelligent back in the day. If anything happened, you would go talk to your elder, because the elder would probably give you the best advice you ever had. The best advice. I used to get the best advice from my grandma. I used to get the best advice from my grandpa. Definitely. And you know it too. You know it too. But now they're poisoning us, right? On purpose. But anyway, let's get to Edward Griffin and kind of get you into where we need to be. I'm not trying to get you into where you need to be, but I'm just trying to let you know that from what I just said, it takes a little strength. It takes a little courage. It takes a little clarity. It takes a little, to get to start to realize what's going on out there, right? And I believe Trump bought us 4 more years to figure this out, because I don't think we would have lasted another fucking year under the puppets of their masters, of the puppets of the global pedo-predator class masters. And the puppets definitely are the Demoncrats and Republicans, Rhino Republicans. So here we go. Let's listen to the rest of this guy.
We must do. There are a lot of things that we know we have to do, but we can't do it unless we have the power to do it. This is a touchy topic because people often say, well, they don't have the right to do that to us. I have my right. It's right in the Constitution. I have a right to free speech. I have a right to bear arms. I have a right to peaceful assembly. And they think that just because they have a right to do it, that they can do it. Just by claiming that they can't, they have a right to do it. And they don't understand the difference between the right to do something and the ability to do something. The power to do something. In this case, it's the political power to do things. Unless you have the force of the state behind you to enforce all these good things, they're not going to happen. That's why our enemy has not attacked us with guns and weapons, but attacked us from the inside our country, by recapturing, or I should say, capturing control of our power centers. That means our political system, our educational system, our media, all of these things. In many cases, even our churches and so forth. The means of communication. And they have the power to do the things that they don't have the right to do, but they do them anyway because they have the power. And we who believe in liberty and constitutional government, the republic concept, have had a hard time coming to grips with that, because we think just because we have a right to do something, as in the Constitution, that all we have to do is stand up and say we have the right, or get enough people to say it. Now, it might have been true at one time if you got enough people to stand up and say we have a right to do something, to say it, especially if they all had muskets. That makes a difference, because now they begin to have the power also to do what they have a right to do. If we had not won the American Revolution War on the battlefield at the great cost of blood and treasure, but blood, we wouldn't be here today talking about our right to do anything. Rights are always gained on the battlefield, and they are sustained by the willingness to go to battle if necessary. But just talking about having a right to do something is not enough. So having said that, how do we retain that power to do something without getting involved with militia or something like that, which is, at one time, probably was a great idea, and I still think it's a good idea, by the way, but now we're dealing with on the battlefield, and they are sustained by the willingness to go to battle if necessary. But just talking about having a right to do something is not enough. So having said that, how do we retain that power to do something without getting involved with militia or something like that, which is, at one time, probably was a great idea, and I still think it's a good idea, by the way, but now we're dealing with people who are enemies of liberty that have the power, meaning they have weaponry that is far greater than what the individual citizens have. So it's no longer a fair fight, you might say. When you've got control of atomic weapons and chemical warfare, electronic energy weapons and so forth, and bacteria warfare, it's not a fair fight. So anybody that thinks that they better not take my gun from me, or I'll meet them at the door. I'd say, why wait till they get to the door? Why don't you go out and meet them someplace else? Anyway, so that comes to the question, what can we do that's really rational in terms of the reality of our world today, and that's really in keeping with our own ethics and our own idea of what is the right thing to do? And I came to the conclusion a long time ago, is that we have to recapture our power to do things, our power to have our rights, the same way we lost it. How did we lose it? We lost it because our enemies knew all of this long before we ever thought of it, and they started creating organizations within our midst, secret organizations. I don't believe in secret organizations, but they built first the Communist Party, and then the Bolsheviks came over and the Marxists came over, and they infiltrated into our universities, and they got teachers starting to teach the children Marxism and these concepts of collectivism. And they took us over first through our minds, and then these kids grew up, and all of a sudden they're running for Congress, and now they're in Congress, and then they're in the media, and that's how they did it without a shot being fired. They took over our power centers from the inside. So what do we say? Oh, we lose? No. I'm thinking we say, hey, that was pretty smart. That was pretty smart. Why don't we do that? Only reverse it. And that's what I've been talking about for a long time. We have to reverse that strategy of becoming influential in the power centers of America again, as we once were. And that's what our program is all about today. And I'm going to say that you noticed on the program, tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, over at the hotel, we're having about a 2-hour seminar, you might call it that, on how we do that. We call them campuses. We have another organization, sort of the sponsor of Red Pill Expo, and that's Red Pill University. We'll be talking about Red Pill University and the fact that the university is seeking to establish campuses of the university in every county in the United States, and also in similar political subdivisions around the world. This is a global battle. We think really big, you know, and our goal is the globe, the world of freedom, not just our own country. Our enemy thinks that way. We have to think that way too. So we'll be talking about how these...
Well, that guy's brilliant, in my opinion. I mean, what do you think? I think, and people have brought this up. You know, I'm talking with people that didn't vote. There's this one girl, just a thought. I don't know if she's a girl or whatever she is, but she's on Twitter or X, but she hasn't voted since 2008. And I'm thinking, well, you don't even really have a say-so in anything, but she does. She has a say-so. I mean, she's still a human being. She still has her God-given or natural given or multi-universal given right to speak freely. This is, you know, her words mean something. That's why you're listening to Mana talk. Mana means power and then talking, right? But it all comes back to us making sure that happens. You know, and we have 4 more years now to make sure that we can do that. We have 4 more years to make sure we won't let these Demoncrats and these Republicans destroy our country any further. You know, keep us in this place of being, you know, the world's most, I don't know, man. I hate to say this, but we've done some bad things. This country, you know, 250 plus years now, whatever, we've killed over 20 million people. For this or for that. And I think it's important to know that's not what you want to be known for, right? That's not what you want to be a part of. But they're still pushing out there. They're still pushing out there to take it down. Remember, your word is your bond, and your word means something. And if you have something to say, say it. That's it. All right, and change gears because there's a lot of things being said out there in regards to all of the appointees of Trump. The one they're really going after is Matt Gaetz.
That are familiar with this investigation. Now, Gaetz has long denied these accusations. Yesterday, he stepped down from Congress following his nomination for Attorney General. Let's get now to ABC News' Jay O'Brien, who's live for us on Capitol Hill. So, Jay, this is quite stunning news here. What more are we learning here about what she potentially said in front of the House Ethics Committee?
Yeah, Kana, ABC News has learned, according to multiple sources, that the woman at the center of this investigation into Matt Gaetz for allegations of sex trafficking told the House Ethics Committee when she was interviewed by that committee that she had sex with Matt Gaetz when she was 17 years old and in high school, and Matt Gaetz was a member of the United States Congress. That, again, according to multiple sources who spoke with our Will Staken and our investigative team here at ABC News. Previously, the Department of Justice investigated these allegations of sex trafficking into Matt Gaetz. They did not bring criminal charges.
That's that. this is what you're going to be hearing. This is already happening with a lot of appointees. There's another person, I believe, that Trump appointed recently. They're going after him also. I wonder if I have it in here. Here it is. Pete Hegseth. Here's another one.
NBC's Ali Rafa is in West Palm Beach, Florida, outside of Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. Ali, good morning.
Willie, good morning. President-elect Donald Trump continuing to round out his cabinet picks this weekend, tapping oil industry CEO Chris Wright as energy secretary and part of Trump's newly formed Energy Council. Wright has no prior government experience, is a staunch defender of fossil fuels, and he's expected to support Trump in his efforts to maximize oil and gas production. Environmental groups are already slamming Wright, who has publicly denied that there's a climate crisis. Meanwhile, there may be new trouble for President-elect Trump's pick for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. The Washington Post broke the news on Saturday that Hegseth paid a woman for her silence years after a sexual encounter at a Republican conference back in 2017. The woman, who was not named, said it was sexual assault, but Hegseth's attorney tells NBC News the encounter was consensual, and Hegseth paid the money because the former Fox and Friends weekend host feared losing his job at the height of the Me Too movement. The attorney saying, quote, "She was the aggressor and extorted Mr. Hegseth for money. No charges were ever filed." Willie?
So, Ali, also Hegseth has been a vocal critic of the deadly U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. And
it's just, they're coming after them. And they're going to come after him tooth and nail. Now, there's allegations. Like I said, words matter, for fuck's sakes. So, and they're hearing all this stuff. So if you're watching this, right, and you're watching this from whatever couch you're sitting on, or lazy boy recliner you're sitting from, or dining table, or restaurant, whatever, you're just going, oh my God, are these the people that are gonna, oh my gosh. It's like, it's so easy. It's so easy for it to happen. It's just freaking everywhere. Where's my freaking sign? Hang on. They do it all the time. It's back and forth, right? I mean, it's just fucking continuous. I swear to God. You don't think, and this is what's interesting is where the fuck is my goddamn little things I had here? Well, you know. Okay, is it this one? Yeah, right here. Okay. Now, I just want you to kind of look at this and read it. And look at all these beautiful, fantastic, multi-million-dollar, in some case multi-billion-dollar studios that these people work in and get paid by. The pedo-predator class, and corporate governance, it's part of it. Corporate governance is all over the World Economic Website, which is almost in sync with the Green Party. Pay for and controls mainstream media billion-dollar bills. Not you. You don't pay for this. Our funding that goes to Pfizer, our funding that goes to Enron, big pharma, big hospital, big elderly care, big psychology, the military-industrial complex pays for these studios, pay for these gigantic gazillion-dollar studios. So I ask, so why in the fuck would they give a single fuck about you? They don't. That's not why they're there. They're there for their advertisers. And who are their advertisers? The same people controlling you and the same people trying to control me, right? And it's hard for people to get. That's part of the abyss. Once you start to realize who's pulling the strings the deeper you go, or, just go behind the curtain and look. And the Wizard of Oz, levers, the Great Oz. And you'll start to realize that it's not about you. They can care less about you. You used to be something that they would invest in order to get money from you for advertisers, whether it was Levi Strauss, which remember those commercials of Levi Strauss? Very rarely will you see a Christian Dior commercial. Very rarely will you see, remember Toys R Us? The world's biggest toy store is Toys R Us. And you used to see a lot of commercials about Toys R Us, usually in the morning, Saturday mornings mostly. But there were a lot of other advertisers. Of course, you got Hardee's and Carl's Jr., and you got Taco Bell and stuff like that. McDonald's, blah, blah, blah. And they pay money too. But, and that's big. That's called big processed food companies. There's a company if you're in the food industry, you'll see it. It's called Ecolab, right? You see Dow Chemical, Ecolab, and so many others out there that push their chemicals for restaurants and facilities and people to use their stuff, which, they're just trying to make money. But the stuff they make is just fucking... I can't really say anything really bad with it because I'm in the industry, but I will say this. It's not... you know what I mean? It's not very... for anybody, for that matter. And, of course, seed oils, which is vegetable oil, which everybody uses now, which is just sick, disgusting. That stuff basically what they used to use, for machinist parts in tool and die companies. When metal's hitting metal and scraping or shaving part of that metal to make a certain type of piece or camshaft or whatever they used vegetable oil. And then all of a sudden, they started using it in fried foods in the late 80s. Right? I want you to go get some tallow, get a deep fryer, put a bunch of tallow in it, and get it up to the right heat. And I want you to go get some French fries. Right? Just whatever. Just go buy some French fries or slice some French fries and make some French fries for yourself. It's delicious with granulated salt or sea salt, which what we used to always use, right? Instead of processed salt. But going back to what's going on with Gates, going back to going on with Ligzith, and all these people that are going to be in Trump's cabinet, which they'll get voted on. They're just trying to build up the hype so people will say no, and you call your congressman, don't you dare put him in. Even though I voted for Trump, don't you dare put him in. Matt Gaetz is the guy. He I don't believe he did that. He's not that stupid. And in all these situations, they've had plenty of time to go after these guys. But why now? Right? Why go after these people now? You had so much time to do it before, but you decided not to. Why? If it was a really big problem for you, why don't you do it? Why didn't you do it then? It's kind of like when Kamala was writing, would you have done anything differently in the past 3.5 years? She said, I can't think of anything. Right then, she fucking lost, 30 million votes probably, just everybody. But it's like you're saying, so why haven't you done what you're saying you're going to do now? You could have done it before. That was like the biggest point. Why couldn't you have made sure the gas prices and the price gouging shit and all that stuff was not happening back then? Or how about now? Bacon I used to get in 2019 and parts of 2020 for $1.99. Now bacon is like $8 a fucking pack. Some places it's 10. Yeah, fucking bullshit. What a line of crap that was. Just listening to all these people. The woke agenda, tampons in boys' bathrooms, men playing in boy-girl sports? What the fuck? There are certain sports, kind of. Bowling. Girls and boys battling for against each other. That's fine. Pool, darts. There's a dart match, like one of the biggest dart matches that happened like 4 or 5 years ago. And I love watching this because this kind of tiny little Irish lady girl just fucking annihilated this guy playing darts like on the big stage, right, with lots of people cheering and roaring. It was good. It was great to see, But if you put a linebacker that's 235 pounds, 6'3", that runs a 4.4, a 4.8, in between their 40-yard dash against a girl that's 120 pounds or 140 pounds, right, who's 5'8", that her neck's going to snap, seriously. I mean, you might see a kicker or some, Hawaii did some fucking quarterback girl. It was so stupid. I think it was McKinley, too, where my dad used to go to school. He would have said, what the fuck is going on? God bless him. I miss you, Pops. But they're going to keep doing this, and they're going to keep going after it. And then you have a lot of people questioning what the hell Trump is doing. And this is where I'm going to go to, and then I'm going to stop. But I have to tell you something before I get to there, is right here. Let me just go to this real quick. And Alex Jones just brought this up. I knew about this a little earlier, but so what Biden just did, Biden officially greenlights the bombing of Russia with long-range missiles by NATO. What does it say in here? What's the title of this show? What is the title? Let me see what it says. Hang on. Let me go to my channel. Where's the title? Right here. I gotta turn the sound off. What does it say in here? Oh, it says the same fucking title. Oh shit, I gotta fix that. Oh, god damn it. Hang on, I think I can still fix it. Maybe not. It's 7:08. Let me see if I can still update the title. Hold on now. Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be. Why does it say that? That's weird. Huh. Demoncrats and Republicans are still lurking. That's what it's supposed to say. And now this thing has gotten really weird. Ooh, okay. Alright, we're going to go back here. We're going to fix the fucking Zoom because this got weird quick. Yeah, this is nuts. This is fucking nuts. Let's see what these guys got to say about this.
Wait, our entire economy is set up altogether. Thank God for people like Kirk Elliott and others who are offering people a safety blanket out of this. But I don't think we're ever going to get sick of victory. This is clip number 18 I want to show in a second. Trump receives heroes welcome at UFC 309. Let's play clip number, let's do 19 instead of 18 actually, and then go straight into clip number 20. Could you guys ever get sick of this? Let's watch 19 and 20 back to back.
All right. Yeah, what I'm going to tell you right now is they're not done yet. They still have over a month to fucking annihilate this country. And their orders from their global predator class masters is to take this country down however they can. And they're going to do whatever they can to do it before they leave. They're gonna try as hard as they can to make that happen. And if they want to start if they can create more conflict and more death and more destruction, what does that do? Well, Smedley Butler says war is a racket, and that's the racket. That's the money laundering. Do you think fucking Trump wanted to do? No. Look, the Democrats were asking for a draft for Ukraine. You guys remember that, right? About a year and a half ago? There were democratic legislators putting out on the table, we want a draft for Ukraine. We want to send Americans to go fight for Ukraine that we hated in 2014, 2015, 2016. And then all of a sudden, and they were like the Third Reich, actually, because most of them in that country were super Sieg Heilers. Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil! They were that. That was them. If you need the information on it, I'll send it to you. It's everywhere. Go to the Wayback Machine, and you can find that information. But all of a sudden, they became our enemy. You know, if there's not one enemy, there's another enemy. The constant enemy has always been Iran and Israel. Has always been Palestine, Gaza, Israel, right? That's just been a constant. We've given more money to Israel than we have any other country. And you know who's closing really fast? Really quickly on that? Is Ukraine. We've given over $300 billion for decades now to Israel. That's always the go-to. It's always the go-to. It's always happened every couple of years. It comes up, Gaza Strip, blah, 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 blah. Every couple of years. I'm old enough to tell you that because that's the fucking history of it. Look it up. You'll see it. Escalation. Things get destroyed. It's just back and forth. Back and forth. But it's a good money laundering scam. Lebanon, a good money laundering scam. Syria, a good money laundering scam. Afghanistan has been a great money laundering scam. Iraq was a really good one. And then we find out, there was no weapons of mass destruction. Right? Telling you. It's continuous and it's got to stop. Right? So we're going to find out, and this is the thing I was going to show you. We're seeing a lot of people questioning what Trump's doing. And I get it. I understand why. I completely understand these cabinet picks nobody really wants. Right? But I'm going to just take a whack at this because I've got a really serious feeling. Where's the redacted? I had it up here. Look at Matt Gaetz is getting fucked. They're going to go after him, for God's sakes. I got a really serious feeling. My spider sense is tingling. It's kind of like a kahuna thing, I guess. I'm not sure. You know, maybe a little Nostradamus. Maybe I am related to Nostradamus. I don't know. Maybe there's, maybe I have. Anyway. Because it says some of the stuff I talk about, these conspiracy theories, are for me, with me and Jimmy George brought this up, a lot of people have, are just like, what do they call it? Just warnings. They're just kind of, they're just warnings, future warnings of basically something that has already happened. Let me see what where is it? I think I got it here. Where is it? Where's the redacted? Benny Johnson, Pacheco. Golf claim. I'm too far back. I'm not even going to talk about this shit right here. This chick, this lady killed her dad because she voted for Trump. Oh my God. It's just crazy. This is how much they've just ruined you. Right? They've destroyed your brain. They've destroyed your brain. Oh, where is it? Oh, yeah. Okay, we got to watch this. This is good. We got to watch this. This is really good.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with you and your mother and your sister. I'm just done all of this. I'm sorry. No, 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 Why? Do you really hate me that bad? Why? Do you really hate me that bad? Why? Do you really hate me that bad? Why? Do you really hate me that bad?
This is fucking epic. That is fucking awesome. That's awesome. Not to throw shit at the crap, but mental illness is real. It's real. I did a few shows on most of the people that are supporting Trump. Over 50% are either mentally ill or are taking serious drugs, medications or whatever for their ailment. Look, the food you eat too can make you fucked up too. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I try to stay away from as much of that junk as possible. It's actually helped me. Honestly, I can tell, I can feel like the clarity in my mind sometimes when I'm eating fresh this, fresh that, tallow, avocado oil, real olive oil, which some are crap, and I've looked into which ones are and which ones aren't. But definitely seed oils are just poison. Definitely vegetable oil is poison. Crisco is poison. You know, and there's so many. It says, look at everything that's fried now. I don't eat chips that much. I don't eat chips at all. I might take sneak a chip, 1 or 2 chips at work, you know, because, you know, it's Ruffles, and I'm kind of a Ruffles guy. But I've totally slowed down on that. And I'm just saying, a lot of this stuff, our water, Florida, has just destroyed our brains. Has just really made it hard for you to process information correctly. Right? Ruined your ability to use your common sense, to use your core ethics, your morals, your folkways, your norms, and stuff like that. I brought up a few times. But it's really sad. I mean, as funny as that is, it's also alarming as hell and sad. It's really sad that those people, you know, fuck, it's just man, it's just look, what's going to happen is JFK is going to come in, and they're going after him too, right? A Kennedy, the Democrats are going after it. They've been hammering at it. A Kennedy, one of the greatest Democratic families on the planet, they're fucking hammering after this fucking dude because all the stuff he's going to bring, like getting rid of organic, which should never be there, and just making sure the food is wholesome, completely wholesome, making sure that the water is completely wholesome, real water, making sure that the vegetables and the fruits and the meat and everything is not pumped with chemicals and steroids and poisons and just fucking everything left and right. Left and right and left and right. Just got all over the place. Just junk crap. And watch how your thinking changes. Watch how your thinking changes when you stop drinking Mountain Dew every fucking day. And Pepsi or Dr. Pepper. Watch how your mind starts to really get a grasp of everything. It's, you know, it's weird because I can walk around and I can almost sense the feeling of people, not just by their body language, but I know it's kind of weird. I'm just saying. I think the closer we get to nature, and this is what the kahunas and the shaman used to. There's a book I have. Which book is here? It's this one. Life and Energy. Right? That's a really good book. The Original Wisdom. That's a really good book. I think you guys should read that. And it's how the Original Wisdom is the stories of the ancient way of knowing by Robert Wolfe, right? What these ancient doctors used to do, right? It's the same in this book here, right? And I go through a lot of these. I got a bunch of books. They're kind of all, I got some on my couch. The Hawaiian Mystics book here is really good. And I left the freaking really good book with Stephanie. And I think it's one of my favorite books, which is Jeet Kune Do by Bruce Lee. And I think I left some fucking books there. But anyway, hopefully she's still alive. And then there's this book here that I got here, which I think you should read too. That's a really good one by Rosa Corey, right? Just, this is a good book too. And there's a bunch of them that I flip through and I read and I go through and just stuff like that. But in regards to the Secrets of Shamanism and the book right here of Original Wisdom, this is, I'll kind of give you a synopsis, right? What they used to do is they used to go to your tent, your village, your hut, the ancient, you know, they always called witch doctors evil, and they always called the shaman evil, and they called the kahunas evil, and they're all just a bunch of weirdos, and, you know, but they used to come and sit and speak to the family. What's going on? What's going on? Why is, you know, Kuluna or Tamatu or whatever the child's name is, or the teenager's name, or the elder's name, whatever, why is this person getting this? Oh, well, they were bit by something the other day, or you know, he fell off of something, and then they have old ancient roots and leaves and flowers that they grind together and got rid of these things right there. All natural, didn't hurt you, didn't affect you. Some things they'd eat and all this other stuff. But sometimes it would just get in the psychology of the unit, of the nuclear family, of their surroundings. What's going on? Why is this person thinking this way? You know, what happened? Did they see something really weird? Did something happen? And they get to the root cause. And that doesn't happen anymore. This is what some of these books talk about for doctors. Doctors that you go to now, if you go to your doctor and the first thing they say is, all right, I'm looking at your stuff, I'm reading your vitals and all this stuff, I'm going to put you on, fucking run. Run. The greatest doctor I ever been to was the guy that said, let me tell you what's going on. You're this big, stop. What are you eating? Chips all the time? I go, yeah. He goes, are you drinking? I go, kind of. He goes, like 2 or 3 times a week? I go, no, once a week. I usually party now. He goes, slow down on that. You know, I'm smoking, yeah, but I smoke. Yeah, that's bad, but I think it's just something that you're just eating wrong. And what are you doing physically? You know, I mean, he really wanted to know more about me. And he said, he fucking cussed. He said, fucking stop doing it, man. Just stop. You know, and ever since I've done that. And by the way, I don't really like at all soda pop. I think it's just, why am I putting carbon in my, isn't CO2 bad for us? But we're going to, anyway. Yeah, this guy, I like, my dad always liked Dr. Pepper. I will drink a Dr. Pepper once in a while, like once in a blue moon. And I will have a Jack and Coke when I'm in Vegas. I'm just telling you. But I'm older, but my life has been pretty healthy. I've always been in pretty physically good condition for a big fat fuck. You know what I mean? Which reminds me, I want to show you this, and then I'm going to go. Yeah, that's sad. These people freaked the fuck out. That was pretty crazy. That was pretty nutty, man. Let's go here. I want to see if that posted. Did it post? No, it didn't. Yeah, it did post. No, it didn't post. It did post. Okay, wait. Is this one right here? I think it's this one right here. Here comes the boom. All right. Yeah, I'm still fat. But anyway. All right, where are we at? Let's see what I do here. I just got back into golfing like 4 months ago. I've been out on the golf course about 7 times maybe. And I've been to the range, I don't know, at least 12 times. And I'm trying to get it back. You know, I'm trying to get it back. I wasn't never a good golfer, but I was okay. My brother was a fucking scratch golfer. The guy could put a ball anywhere he said he could. It was crazy. Let me play this real fast. Let's say that again. I was trying to crush that one. Honestly, I just wanted to. I knocked that one to the fence, man. That one to the fence. It was definitely over the 250 mark. And then I kind of lost sight of it. But it was pretty good. That was a good hit. You know, for 60-something years old, 61, I'm going to be 61 next year. But I'm 60 now. And I'm okay. I'm all right. I mean, I'm not great. You know, honestly, there's still a lot more I need to do. I got to swim more, but I hate the chlorine. Chlorine just, I can feel the poison going into my pores. It's just, I don't like it. Right? But anyway, yeah, it's all in. They're doing what they need. Freaking hilarious. Did that.
At a critical point in the war, and as they prepare for an offensive there, and as North conflict, President Biden making inside Russia for the first time of allowing Ukraine this new capability. There were officials who were concerned about the risk of escalation in this war. That's something that President Biden has been concerned about throughout the conflict. You also heard officials worry about capability. There were officials who were concerned about the risk of escalation in There were officials who were concerned about the risk of escalation in this war. That's
really, there's some concern about it. There's a little concern about going after one of the largest holders, or, the fucking people that have warheads just as big as ours or more. Nuclear war. I mean, is this the smart play? I told you, this fucking bullshit. They're going to try to start this shit before they get out. This cannot happen. If Congress has to step in for sure and say, fuck you. That is all out war. We shouldn't have been there in the fucking first place. In the first place. Trump said, I would have never got you in there. Yeah, no, you didn't. He got us out of war when he was in. He allowed a few things to happen, but he didn't start a war. People don't realize that. Not we, Biden administration, started that fucking shit. This is ridiculous. Is it going to escalate? That's what they wanted to do. That's what they wanted to. They wanted to escalate. More money. It's not just the money now. They just want to destroy it all. That's where I'm at. I told you. The global predator class. I'm just going to call them the global predator class. Right? GPPC does. GPC is fine. Their goal, right? And go look up the Deagle report. I'll bring it up to you. I'll show you some information on where I get this from, or you can just go to fthewf.org or DIYAmericans.com. Where's my little thing on the bottom here? Oh, it's because of this is blocking it. Okay. And just go see what's going on. Or get that information. It's in there. It's all in there. If you can't find it, let me know and I'll tell you. But this is ludicrous. This is lunacy. Just continuous lunacy. But like I said, they want to get rid of 2/3 of the planet's population and hoard the rest for themselves. They don't like Elon Musk. They don't like it. Let me tell you why the global predator class does not like Elon Musk. Because he's going to get us off of here and find us a plan B planet in a Goldilocks era. Throughout time, it'll happen. He's not going to colonize Mars. That's just like a way station. That's just one of the closest to us where we can learn how to move through space and time faster. A lot of testing will happen, and I'm sure there'll be some people there. I don't think it's going to be like America big. It might be like maybe, Massachusetts big, or like Dallas County big. No. But once we're able to travel through space and time, like who knows how many other species can do it out there, this won't be the only planet. And this is the problem that the global predator class has. They don't want to do. They want to keep what they have. They're very selfish. I told you, I've fucking hung around these people. They're selfish motherfuckers. If you can't have it, if I can't have it, then you can't have it. That's what they're doing right now. That's what this fucking shit is. That's what that is. That's where their mind's at right now. Their mind, and I'm going to tell you, is Trump's not going to take it away from us. He's not going to take our New World Order away. He's not going to take our Great Reset away from us. Fuck him. Fuck him. Let's just start it. Right? We'll go underground in our Harris size 20-story hotel bunkers under the ground, and we'll be fine for 10 or 15 years. That's not going to happen, bro. That's not going to happen. They're just fucking crazy. These people are so sociopathically fucking lunatics. The lunacy is beyond belief, and they have a ton of fucking money and influence. These fuckers need to be rounded up and thrown in prison ASAP. And all their little fucking helpers on the Demoncratic side and the Republican side. It's fucking nuts. All right. Hopefully you learned a little bit here. If there's anything else I can go through here, I would be glad to show you. But I think we're pretty much done here. Trump is a is a good golfer. You should make it for fighter. She doesn't get it. Just like, I mean, whatever she's pushing, it's not her. It's not. It's Fluvid-19, young lady. She's just. I don't. Somebody needs to talk to that woman. Anyway, I think we're good. Oh, you gotta watch this. Yeah, this is kind of rubbing it in.
And there were.
Hold on.
I'm a dummy.
Didn't aspire to be wealthy. In fact, they were suspicious of folks who took more than they needed. She and my father didn't aspire to be wealthy. In fact, they were suspicious of folks who took more than they needed.
I was so tired of gas and groceries being so cheap, I wanted to pay more for my food. That's when I discovered Dip Shizzy. After electing Dip Shizzy, my food and energy prices skyrocketed, and I couldn't be happier. With Dip Shizzy, I finally get to experience the joys of communism right here at home.
Yeah. Total control. You heard it. Live from them. Anyway, aloha, everybody. Thank you for watching. Aloha. Mahalo.